from a Digital Trends article by Luke Dormehl, who reports about a company called Mojo Vision, which is developing smart augmented reality contact lenses.
Cool.
So yeah, it looks cool. In early May, they announced that they had raised an extra $51 million to build on top of the $108 million they had already raised, where they've got total cash infusion of $160 million. So there are people investing in it. They're taking this idea seriously. So that's why I don't discount it out of hand. But this is not a product yet. It's still in development. But the problem with widespread adoption, I mean, we talk about augmented reality a lot on the show, but the problem with widespread adoption of AR is the form factor. You know, it's to get the full effect, you need a headset, and the headset is an impediment for people to adopt it broadly. One, it's just another piece of hardware you need to carry around.
And it goes over your eyes.
It goes over your eyes. You look weird, so there's a social factor, that's the social dynamic that gets in the way. With contact lenses, obviously, they're unobtrusive. They're not another piece of hardware or thing that you need to wear. People don't know that you have them on, so there's a social stigma that is taken away, or a social awkwardness at the very least that's taken away. So so the form factor is the problem. The contact lenses obviously could change that. The article cites Mark Weisner, who was a former chief technologist at Xerox PARC, in an article he wrote in 1991 about ubiquitous computing, which I immediately took notice because I read that paper back probably in 1992, and it is the paper that I read it and got excited about it, or it kind of sent me down this career path of technology and communications. But in it, one of the quotes from the article is, the most profound technologies are those that disappear. They weave into the fabric of everyday life until they are indistinguishable from it. And that's what, that's the promise of AR contact lenses. AR needs to be unintrusive and even invisible until you need it. And headsets make that impossible, right? So this company is working on developing that, getting over that barrier. Steve Sinclair is the Senior Vice President of Product and Marketing. He's quoted in the article saying, "We are building what we are pretty confident is going to be the best eye tracking in the world, because we're building all the motion sensors for tracking your eyes on the lens itself." So it's not like Google Glass, a camera looking at your eyeballs. The motion tracking is in the lens itself. So we're not a camera looking at the eye trying to figure out where it's going. We're on the eye and we know exactly where it's moving. That gives us a huge advantage as far as control is concerned. They're building the camera into the lens. They've got the motion sensing, so they know what you're looking at. They know what you're focusing on. And they're building on putting the battery in the lens as well. So it's got Wi-Fi, it's got the battery in, a lot of different technological things that they're trying to solve, and they got a bunch of very talented people to solve it. The CEO, his name is Drew Perkins, has spent years working on the concept, and employees for this company include veterans from Apple, Amazon, Google, HP, Microsoft, Motorola, and countless others. Sinclair, the senior VP of marketing, he alone has worked for Apple, Google, and HP. This is not a project yet. It's probably 3 to 5 years before it's released to the public. They're going to focus on industrial uses first before they have a consumer product. But when that comes about, it'll be pretty significant. So I think AR has a fine future. It's just not immediate.
Well, I'm trying to think when this was, but quite a while back, we talked about Google having contact lenses that could tell your insulin level if you were diabetic.
Yep.
But I wore contact lenses from when I was 15, and I wore hard lenses until a couple of years ago. And when you wear hard contact lenses, you have to build a scar tissue on the inside of your eyelid.
And this would likely be hard.
Sure, they would have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so the idea of for I remember the breaking in period of you could wear them for 15 minutes and then you could wear them for half an hour, and then you could wear them all day because you had this scar tissue inside your eye. So I to this day I could stick my finger in my eye if I get a eyelash in there. I stick my finger in my eye, take it out. I think nothing of touching my eyes and because I wore contact lenses. And so this sounds like a real challenge for people to get used to, but I guess if you're highly motivated enough, you'll stick it in your eye.
Yeah, well, I have never worn contact lenses, but I have no problem sticking my finger in my eye. So I think I'll be
You're
fine
ready.
with it. Plus, I'm motivated to check out the technology as well. So
Well, I believe Apple's coming with a pair of eyeglasses, which I'd be more likely to try than
right.
something
Well, I mean, there's
in my
Google
eyes.
Glass, but that looked weird, and that you have the glass hole thing going on. Spectacles with Snapchat came along, and they're much more friendly. They look like normal
But Dave, looking
sunglasses and
weird is
everything.
fun. I like looking weird.
Yeah,
Every chance I get.
you haven't test run Google Glass.
No, you had no fun with that. I remember. And once you sat on them or something, right?
Well, they broke very quickly after I bought them, but the main thing was I felt very self-conscious about wearing them in public because it just looked weird. I mean,
We'll see. In New York, everybody looks weird, so it doesn't